Well. New Yahoo News YouGov poll. Biden's approval ratings falls as both Republicans and Democrats grow more concerned about crime. This is a Yahoo News story brought to you by Andrew Romano, a West Coast correspondent. That's going to come into play here. And it's Yahoo News. This is also going to come in. You already know, just looking at this right there, it's a left-wing spin rag story. And a lot of things are going to be missing. Because you got to paint Democrats and Biden in a positive light and Republicans in a bad light. Now, this guy does the entire Republicans bad, Democrats good bullshit story. But let's get into it. I'm Grid 7, and here we go. Stupid ads. Rising worries about crime among both Democrats and Republicans are starting to create a drag on President Biden's approval rating, according to the poll, and could signal larger challenges for the president's party ahead of the 2022 midterm elections. You don't say. But I bet you won't say probably really why. You're going to spin it. They're going to do the survey here. Now, they did 1,592 U.S. adults, which was conducted from June 22nd to 24th, found that a majority, 55%, now describe violent crime as a very big problem in the U.S. Far more than the share who checked that degree of concern for the coronavirus, 36%, race relations, 39%, the economy, 41%, or political correctness, 39%. In other words, a full 14% more are worried about crime. It goes, even more striking is the fact the number of Americans who consider violent crime a very big problem rose 6 percentage points over the last month. And Republicans, among who the number increased from 56 to 65%, weren't the only ones contributing to that increase. Now he can't just say bad Republicans here. Now, 45% of Democrats last month described violent crime as a very big problem. That number is now 8 points higher. Notice he has to put that in quotations, 53%. He used 45, and that's little spin things right there. At the same time, 47% of Americans now disapprove of the way Biden is handling crime, which is up from 43% last month. Just 36% approve. I will admit, I don't actually put too much on Biden with this. So, for me, it's kind of it's a problem, but I see it more, the problem is local level. That's where the real problem is with this, and this guy doesn't even really get to that part. Now, it keeps on going. Growing concern about violent crime coincides with some of Biden's weakest job approval numbers to date. In the latest survey, the president's approval among all Americans, here comes the spin, which remains higher than Donald Trump at any point in his presidency. Gotta go bad Republicans. No, they can't let Trump go. They just can't do it. Sorry, Mr. Andrew. Let it go. Let it fucking go. I'd slap you across the face, but you'd probably whine and bitch and all the other type of stuff. Because, Donald Trump, But Biden's approval is down 4% points from April. That's down to 50%, while his disapproval is up 6 points to 43%. Now that's apparently the narrowest in this left-wing poll that they do, because they have to spend everything positive for Biden. And this down to 50 is with the press pushing. I mean, they're pushing positive news for Biden. And the fact that Trump did as good as he did with so much negative just shows how completely how much propaganda is in the media nowadays. Goes, studies show that violent crime has been rising in the U.S., even though it's still occurring at here's another spin, at a far lower rate than it was for much of the 90s. Yeah, it shouldn't know. Why is it fucking rising? Who cares about the 90s? That was 30 years ago. A report found that the number of homicides across 32 U.S. cities went up 24% in the first quarter of 2021 compared to quarter of 2022. Aggravated assaults were up 7% and gun assault rates were up 22%. It's up pretty good here. And you're concerned about Biden being higher than Trump's presidential approval. Bullshit. The overwhelming majority of Americans seem to be aware of these trends. 69%, up 4%, telling Yahoo that they believe violent crime is increasing in the U.S. rather than decreasing. That was 7%, or staying the same, which is 16%. Again, both Republicans and Democrats went up. Now, the picture is murkier on the local level. Here we go, spinning. When asked what's happening with crime in your community, just 35% of Americans, just remember that one, 35%, including 38% of Democrats and 36% of Republicans. Hold on a second. 35, 38, 36. So independents are lower than this. No, say it's increasing. So independents don't think it's increasing, and someone's making this number go down because what's in your community? 38% of Democrats say it's increasing. Notice that they don't. Only 36% of Republicans say it's increasing in their neighborhood, and independents are even lower than that. That's kind of. Notice how they just kind of skip over that. Far more say crime is staying the same, a view shared by the majority of Republicans and Democrats. In a rare show of bipartisan consensus, it appears both sides agree that violent crime is rising, but it's rising mostly elsewhere. Not according to over 1/3 of Democrats and 1/3 of Republicans, but gotta skip over that. And here's where we're really getting into the spin. Bad Republicans, good Democrats. Republicans and Democrats continue to disagree sharply, however, about what's the cause of the spike in the violent crime and what can be done about it. Democrats believe violent crime is increasing, cite rising gun sales and systematic racism. This is where the full court press of the propaganda is coming into play. Because these people who are doing this, these Democrats, they don't hear anything else. They don't go out looking for anything else. They do not go and research stuff. I encounter it all the fucking time. They literally have their heads in the sand, and they do not get it. I like this note, though. Republicans and independents cite the racial justice movement, i.e. BLM and those bullshitters with their whole entire defund the police propaganda bullshit that you don't see one single thing in this article about. Because likewise, more Democrats believe law enforcement is too tough on most offenders than believe law enforcement is either not tough enough or about right. Nearly all Republicans say police are not tough enough or about right. Again, this is a whole entire thing. These people aren't getting the whole entire thing. These protesters and all this other type stuff, they actually have to do a thing, they're being let off, and police are fed up with it and they're leaving. And these cities like Portland and Seattle are facing a crisis with cops. Crime is surging, and they don't have a fucking clue what to do because they've so embedded themselves with BLM and defund the police that they've literally trapped themselves. And it's on this article writer Andrew here can't wrap his head around. Actually, he probably can, but there's no way he can write about it. This week, Biden held an event at the White House to talk about preventing violent crime and gun violence, and touted the fact that money from the COVID-19 relief package that the Democrats passed through Congress without any Republican support. Now here we go, good Democrats, bad Republicans. Has been used to bolster law enforcement. Let's see this. Cities are experiencing an increase in gun violence and are able to use the American Rescue Plan dollars to hire police officers needed for community policing and to pay their overtime. Mr. Andrew, Mr. Writer of this horrible article, why the hell do they need to use this money to hire new police officers? Because of the whole entire stupid frickin' BLM defund the police bullshit that you completely fucking ignore. Maybe if you put a bit of that into this, you'd be understanding what's going on, and you'd be more you'd have more intelligent readers. I don't know. Either way, the politics around crime seem to be shifting, and Biden may have to do more to stay ahead of the issue. Actually, I think a lot of the local leaders, city mayors and council members, need to get their head out of the fucking sand and get their head out of the BLM ass, and start looking at their citizens instead of some sort of stupid social justice bullshit that doesn't work. Yeah, that's my thing. Let me know what you think. Does this guy have it? Is the poll kind of biased in your opinion? Let me know. I'm Grid7 on Rumble and YouTube for however well YouTube is. And I'll see you next video.